Hello everyone, lovely to have you with me. It's Carol here at Oak House Journals. I'm going to do a Margarete Miller assignment today for her Collage Weekly Challenge of 2025. There was an issue a couple of weeks back with week 31. For some reason, the video I uploaded to YouTube disappeared. All I can think is that the file had somehow been corrupted between my system here and YouTube, and I couldn't upload the video again. So I just thought very quickly before I go into what I'm doing for week 34, I thought I'd quickly show you my collage for week 31. So quickly going through the prompts for week 31 so that you can see what I've done. The first one was an image of a chair or other piece of furniture. Well, I went with a dresser in the back here, a clipping with a border or a frame. That's my piece there. A picture of something with feathers. Well, obviously these two hawks. Geometric shapes. Well, I went with a triangle and a rectangle down there. An illustration or image of a face. Well, I went with this lovely metallic statue. And finally, bonus rubber stamping in two colour inks. Well, I went with black here, and there is brown down the side there. If I hold that up, you can see it. And I'll put a couple of close-up photos at the end of the video of this one so that you can see what it is in more detail. Okay, so moving swiftly on, the collage I'm going to do today is week 34. As you can see, I've got my prompts here and my prompt pieces that I'm going to work with. The first one is a building. Well, I've got the Eiffel Tower, and we're working on a very French theme today, or Parisian theme. So yes, a building. So I've got the Eiffel Tower. A picture of a hat or clothing item. I'm not going to use the moustache, obviously. I'm going to use the little red beret. Something metallic in appearance. Well, this is a vintage, very ornate spoon. So I'm going to use that. A clipping of a map with city names. Well, I'm using this. I couldn't find a map of France or Paris, so I'm having to use one of England. Not ideal, but it will work, and particularly because of the colour tones there. So that's why I've chosen that one. Something with a checkerboard pattern. Well, this is a Parisian tray with checkerboards on the base. The next prompt, or the bonus prompt, is something smooth. Now, I could have gone for the froth on the top of this coffee here, but I didn't want to cross over my prompt. So what I've gone for my something smooth is this bottle of Bordeaux. This bottle is worth £5,500, and in the description of the wine, it was saying that it was sweet and silky. Now, to me, silky means something that's very smooth and soft and flexible. So I'm going with that, and it ties in obviously with my French theme. Okay, so let's get started. Prompts ahead of me. I'm going to do my usual fussy cutting. This is a little bit large, so I will be cutting this down. What I want to fussy cut is that bottle of Bordeaux, that tray, that beret, and that spoon. So I'm going to go away now, fussy cut those, and then come back and start arranging my collage. So the spoon is cut out now, so is the checkerboard tray, the bottle of Bordeaux, and the little French hat, or the beret. So I'm going to put that up there. I'm thinking of having this as my background and making use of the border. Obviously liking the orange here, so it's got to go in this orientation. But I'm going to play with this first to see where these other pieces need to go. And I'm wondering about having this somewhere like that, so that the red of the top transitions it into the blossoms up there. I thought I could have this potentially tucked down here. Don't like that flat edge, so I'm going to hide it behind the bottle. Use the bottle and the tray to come off the image to break it up along the bottom. And with this, I thought I could use it if I tuck that under there, just very gently. See if I can do it without knocking everything out. No, I can't. So I thought I would probably have that, something like that. Make use of the curve there to transition into the tray. And have this bottle here, something like that. Now obviously it's going over the edge there, so that's not ideal, but I think I can make that work with a little bit of jiggery pokery. And actually this works to ground my bottle and my tray a little bit. The bottle I definitely want along this edge here, and half and half. Yeah, I'm liking that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue down this bottle onto this image at the back here. Just put a little bit of glue to hold it, as I always do, whilst I faff around with everything else. A little bit under here, like that, and a little bit under this one. Now, obviously I'm not liking that this goes right off my page, so I'm going to just break this off underneath here, like that, and just have a little bit of a play with angling this spoon better. So maybe something like that. Bring that in underneath so that it looks like it's a continuation of the spoon, but a smaller one. A little bit of glue underneath here. There's a little bit of an overlap here, so I'm going to cut it away. And now I can go in and put more glue under all of these pieces to secure them in place. Okay, so now I need to get this in, and what I'd like to do is use that edge down there to act as a bit of a frame for this bottle and also my image, but then it is a lot wider than my working area, which I don't really want. So I need to get rid of some of this in the middle. I'm going to do a cut and try and lose a portion. Put that on there like that. Pull this in. So I've lined up my bottle with the edge of my map, and I'm going to just bring it in from my border so that this piece isn't off too much. And then bringing this piece and just gently overlap it. I'm going to hold that in place and just put some glue behind it. Don't like that word bay up there, so I'm going to cover that up. That works quite nicely. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to finish gluing these two pieces together. Just make sure the border is lined up, because that's where it's going to be most noticeable. Bring this in and reposition it to cover up that word at the top left-hand corner. Bringing this side to the border on the map. I am going to drop it down so it's off my map so that I can get a bit more colour showing up there and down here, and break up this bottom edge. So I'm just going to put some glue in here, as I always do. Put some glue on the back of this here. So for that I'm using a drier glue, which is a Pritt stick. Whilst that's still tacky, I'm just going to rub away my pencil lines. These are just guidelines to help me get things straight on here. They're still faintly there, but I can see enough to help me position this on my page. There we go. Smooth it out with my bone folder. So there we go, everybody. Came together quite quickly today. Obviously I've not quite finished because I have my little French berry. Now I could either have it on my bottle there, or I could cheekily try and hang it over the top of the Eiffel Tower there. The other place I could have it is down here on top of the bottle, and I quite like it, if I can get that in place. I quite like it there because it breaks up that edge, but you really can't tell what it is, and the size of it is such that it's not really going to fit anywhere else. I mean, it could potentially go down there, but it doesn't work. It's not the right scale. It's certainly not the right scale over here. So I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and put it where I originally thought I would do. So there we go, that's my finished collage for week 34, a building, obviously my Eiffel Tower, a piece of clothing or a picture of a hat or clothing item while I went with my red French berry up there, something metallic in appearance. Well, this is a vintage silver spoon, a clipping of a map with city names. Well, there's my map, vintage map in the background there. And obviously being a map, it's got city names on it. Something with a checkerboard pattern, this Parisian tray down here, and something smooth. As I said, it could have been the froth on my coffee, but I've gone with this bottle of expensive, very silky and smooth Bordeaux. As always, pictures at the end, and I will include some pictures of week 31. Thank you as always for watching. Take care everybody. Bye bye now.